All people in their lives strive for some dream or goal. For example, to become rich, influential, or to comprehend the truth and meaning of life. But some people are not like everyone else. This man wanted to be strong, and this desire for strength remained with him even in his second life. In this fight, we see one man fighting against a large crowd. They shouted at him, asking if he knows who they are. The men got tired of the boy's strange movements and decided to attack him all at once. However, he manages to avoid being surrounded by them and uses a special fighting technique called capoeira. He managed to knock one of the men down. The remaining men decide to team up and attack him, thinking that he will not withstand their attack. But he surprises them with a series of kicks using basic taekwondo techniques. One of the men insults him, calling him an insolent boy and telling him to prepare to die by an axe. But instead, the boy uses another capoeira kicking technique and defeats all his attackers. He laughs at them and asks if it was the best they could do. One of the men complains that the unknown fighter is keeping them at a distance with his strange movements. The boy tells him to shut up and accuses them of starting the fight when he was just minding his own business. He attacks them again and warns them that they are all in big trouble. They are very scared and decide to run away because they think he is a demon. Their leader beats one of his own as he tries to escape and calls him a worthless man. The leader then tells the young man that his skills are just tricks, and he cannot defeat a real master with these dirty tricks. The leader explains that the strength of a true master depends on how he uses his inner energy. He wants to show the boy how it's done, so the leader attacks the boy and challenges him to try to block his movement with his monkey jumps. But the boy uses his boxing and cross-punching techniques and punches the leader right in the face. The young man asks the leader what he was talking about all this time. A boxing ring appears in his memory where two boxers are fighting, and the audience applauds loudly and expresses their delight. The announcer announces that Master Perfect, Kang Sang-hyuk, is back with a powerful cross-counter punch that lands straight at challenger Darrow Antheo. Darrow Antheo is knocked out, and the commentator states that Master Perfect has won again with a record of 432 victories and 18 defeats. They announce the champion's name, Kang Sang-hyuk. They wonder who can stop this incredible winning streak. The reporter congratulates Kang Sang-hyuk and says that he has overcome false news that his health is deteriorating. He defended his title again. The reporter asks, Kang Sang-hyuk mentioned in a previous interview that he had something to say. Tell me after this match, you will leave. Is it true? Kang Sang-hyuk confirms this, saying that it is true. He then tells them that this match will be the last of his career. All the reporters are surprised and ask if there is a reason for this sudden decision. Another reporter wonders whether Kang Sang-hyuk's selection is related to rumors about his deteriorating health. Kang Sang-hyuk tells them it's true when asked about his health problems, explaining that he has serious health issues. Champion Kang Sang-hyuk's manager, who is sitting next to him, asks the reporters to let him explain everything. The manager explains that long matches and intense training cause Kang Sang-hyuk's body to rapidly deteriorate. Reporters understand this, noting that Kang Sang-hyuk has been involved in the sport for 30 years and competes in very difficult mixed martial arts competitions. Kang Sang-hyuk holds the record as the longest-serving champion, and everyone is wondering if this is the end of Mr. Perfect. The manager then announces that due to champion Kang Sang-hyuk's health, they will end the interview here. Kang Sang-hyuk thinks to himself of Mr. Perfect, a nickname he earned after becoming a legendary figure in the world of mixed martial arts. From early childhood, he demonstrated incredible success in martial arts. He is trained in many martial arts, such as boxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, wrestling, and many more. Kang Sang-hyuk became a champion just 3 years after he began his mixed martial arts career. He was unbeatable with an amazing winning streak and many records. But now, Kang Sang-hyuk has been involved in the sport for more than 30 years, and he has to accept it. He defeated everyone in the ring, but time defeated him. He is seriously and incurably ill. The treatment will take a long time, and the result is unknown. Kang Sang-hyuk's heart wants to continue fighting, but his body can't keep up. Fate has robbed Kang Sang-hyuk of any reason to continue living, and he wonders what he has left. Kang Sang-hyuk has always been lonely in life, and it looks like he will remain lonely in death. There is no point in living any further. Isn't it better to die now, invincible and in the rays of glory? The light is fading. A century of lawlessness, chaos, and endless wars. The Jun kingdom spread across the land and fought with those around it. Even though the Jun kingdom was not as strong as some other major countries, it was very resilient. This was due to the technique of spiritual development that came from India and was taught by Bodhidharma. They combined this with fighting skills to create martial arts. Other countries often tried to control and suppress groups that practiced these martial arts, called Murim schools or sects, but the king of the kingdom Jusan, saw that these Murim sects had valuable power that could help them win wars and therefore supported and protected them. Jusan's successor, Juseong, continued this support and even made an agreement that the royal family and the Murim sects would not attack each other after the continent was unified, which eventually led to the Jun kingdom becoming the most powerful and marked the beginning of the golden age of the Murim sects. However, from time to time, conflicts arose between the traditional sects and the demon cult, which was supported by the dominant religion of the time, the White Lotus, leading to a cycle of good and bad times throughout history. The boy learns all this from a book called Juke Jin, Book 2, and after closing it, he finds Murim's history very interesting, especially the part on martial arts. Just as the cleaning lady comes in and asks him, Yun Wei, if he is here again, reminding him that they can't let him sneak in all the time because the king will be upset. Yun apologizes and says he thought it might be awkward for her, but she tells him that this is her job, and asks him to let her know in advance next time, to which Yun agrees and says he understands. When the woman asks Yun where he's going now, he says he's going to play again today and might be back a little late, prompting the lady to remind him to come home before dinner, which he assures her not to worry about before running away. The woman watches him leave and comments on why boys his age have so much energy, adding that every time Yeon leaves she worries he might get into trouble, a sentiment the man nearby agrees with, saying he is also worried and, in fact, thinks that the young master from the Golden Tiger Wall will be worth a lot of money, so he hopes that no one else will have time to kidnap the boy. Yeon reaches the jungle and begins doing stretching exercises until, after a while, he decides that this is enough and begins to practice boxing techniques while voices repeat the words, Mr. Perfect, #1 in the world, and the strongest man in the world, as his opponent arrives, and everyone wonders what match they will see today. The battle begins with Yeon's opponent launching a high attack that he easily dodges, planning to measure the distance with low kicks and wait for the right moment, until the enemy uses a cunning move that Yeon at first thinks is a tackle, but then realizes is a trick. Yeon continues to practice his moves, punching and kicking into the air among the trees, while a man who has been watching from afar wonders what Yeon is doing alone, and Yeon continues to train until he kicks a tree and it splits in two, amazing himself with the incredible power of martial arts, especially considering he is only 9 years old. In his thoughts, Yeon reflects that 9 years have passed since he was reborn in this world of Murim with memories of his past life, and he wonders if this world is a dream or reality and whether the person he was in the past is his true self or who he is now. Yeon believes he was lucky to be reborn in Murim because in his previous life, he could not fulfill all his desires due to the laws and rules of decency that existed there, whereas Murim is a universe where issues of life and death are resolved with the help of force and nothing holds him back. So he will once again make a name for himself that will rock the world, this time with his modern martial arts. The man who is watching Yeon is shocked and exclaims that it is impossible for a child to have such power. So Yeon comes closer, notices he had an observer, and asks the man why he was secretly watching him, to which the man replies that the boy's father ordered him to monitor his son's safety. Yeon then mentions that he thinks the man saw all of the training, and the man apologizes for this. Yeon thinks to himself that the situation is not good, as he is worried about what might happen if his father finds out. Yeon's father is the leader of the Golden Tiger War, one of the 10 largest business clans with a lot of power in the Central Plains business scene. Although they rank last among these clans, they have a good reputation for their generosity and adherence to the dominant religion. Leader Yan Jeho had 2 daughters from his only wife and a son named Yan Huitai. Leader Jiho asks his son Yeon if it's true that he practices martial arts, which is practiced by bandits and rabble, and Yeon denies it, saying it wasn't him. However, his father gets angry and wonders if Yeon would dare to lie, telling him that he heard about him rolling on the floor and practicing punches and kicks, before asking if this is the kind of martial arts that random street thugs use. Yeon responds by saying that these are advanced techniques that will soon be called by his name and that he learned them from a certain master, but his dad tells him that if he's going to lie, at least make it believable, leaving Yeon disappointed that his father didn't believe him. His father tells Yeon to stop talking nonsense and says that if Yeon wants to study martial arts, he should do it like an aristocrat, not a beggar, suggesting they find him a good master, and even mentioning the nearby Manhwa school, before asking if Yeon wants to become a novice there. Yeon refuses, saying he doesn't want to, and adding that the martial arts he learned are amazing and advanced, no worse than what they have. The father's anger flares when he demands an explanation from Yeon for his seemingly absurd position, as he cannot understand this sudden change in Yeon, who has always been an obedient son. In response, the father states that he will send Yeon to Mount Hua in 10 days and will not tolerate any objections. However, Yeon has a proposal and asks his father about the real reason he was sent to the Hua Mountain sect, suspecting that his father has acquaintances. Yeon proposes a bet. His father must find a martial artist from Mount Hua to come and fight him, and then the father will see that his son has nothing to learn at school. If Yeon loses, he vows to obey his father's orders without question. But if he emerges victorious, the father will not interfere with his studies. The father, with a sly smile, agrees to this bet, believing that he has caught his son in a trap, and they give each other their word as men and seal the deal. But Yeon realizes that his father has more on his mind than meets the eye, and the father notices Yeon's determination, but believes that there is no way Yeon can win, as his opponent will be none other than the disciple of Kihukdo, the first elder of the Hua Mountain sect known as the Plum Blossom Warrior, a fighter who is very strong in battle and almost on par with a top-notch fighter. In a separate instance, a girl attacks a boy, and there is not the slightest fear on her face but only confidence in victory. Despite her efforts, the boy skillfully parries her attacks, calling them the Mount Hua crossblock. She decides that she did not put in enough effort and resolves to make every effort, using the stab fighting technique while the boy uses the 6-step sword. But she decisively defeats him, and he praises her for getting stronger every day, even suggesting that she may soon become the first bud of Mount Hua. Grateful for his support, her friend Kang Yunwa promises to work even harder, and their teacher, watching from the sidelines, admires Yunwa's talent and personality, briefly wondering what it would be like to have a daughter. Kai Hukdo, the Plum Blossom Warrior and first elder of the Hua Mountain School, devoted his whole life to cultivating talents and did not find time for marriage and relationships. Later, Hukdo shares the news that an old friend has invited them to his home, and Yunwa is very excited, asking if she can have sweets there. Hukdo assures her that it won't be just sweets, as there will be a lot of other delicious food, and Yunwa's eyes light up as she wonders if there will be more dumplings, stating she is completely ready for this. Hukdo chuckles and agrees that there will be dumplings, but also mentions that there is one condition, explaining that his friend's son, around the same age as Yunwa, is learning some strange and low-grade martial arts, and that the friend is worried and wants Yunwa to teach his son a lesson and convince him to stop studying martial arts this time around. Hukdo then asks Yunwa if she can do it, and she enthusiastically agrees, saying that she will teach him a lesson. Several days have passed, and the people at the Golden Tiger Wall training ground are discussing the upcoming battle with the Mount Hua disciple, with concerns arising about Yeon's chances, as it is rumored that his opponent is an aspiring martial artist from the Mount Hua sect, while Yeon's father silently believes that Yeon needs a major setback to bring him to his senses. When Hukdo arrives with Yunwa, he apologizes for the wait, and Yeon's father asks if their accommodation was suitable last night, with Hukdo expressing gratitude for the hospitality, and Yunwa also thanking Yeon's father. Yeon is outraged that he is being asked to fight a child, but Yeon's father reminds him that he is a child too and suggests starting sparring now that the introductions are complete, which Hukdo agrees with, asking Father Yeon to take a seat in the audience. Hukdo clarifies that since this is a competition and not a fight to the death, the swords will be wooden, and it is strictly forbidden to inflict serious injuries on the enemy, stating that the moment one of them admits defeat or falls unconscious, the other will be declared the winner, and assuring them that if they feel there is a risk of serious injury, they will stop the match immediately. Having established the rules, Hukdo announces the start of the match between Yeon and Kang Yunwa. Yunwa introduces herself as Mount Hua sect's 4th-ranked novice, Kang Yunwa, and explains that she will use the 6-sword combination technique, while Yeon introduces himself as Yeon Huitae and strikes a strange pose. Yunwa wonders about Yeon's strange posture and behavior, believing that in a training match it is customary to represent one's sect and martial art, and decides that her opponent is too arrogant, so in response she decides to try her best and win. Yeon expects her attack, and Yunwa uses her 6-sword combination technique, while Yeon doesn't use anything, and just goes ahead, though Yunwa finds Yeon's approach pathetic, seeing him as a child without strategy or calculated movements, and believes that victory is in her hands. As they begin to wrestle, Yeon puts his wrestling skills to use and quickly defeats Yunwa on his first try with a takedown, where no wooden sword will help, as the enemy is fast and strong. Yeon's father, Teacher Hukdo, and other spectators are amazed at such a quick and convincing victory, as they've never seen anything like this, and when Yunwa protests, claiming that this is not martial arts but street fighting, Yeon counters by saying that winning is all that matters in a fight. Mr. Perfect is not just a champion. He established a remarkable record by winning in all weight categories from the lightest to the heaviest, one after another, with his secret to success lying in the ability to exploit his opponent's weaknesses during a fight. In a recent match, Yan hit Yun Wei with a powerful blow that left a dent in the ground, and feeling like a winner, he was confused when his father screamed that he had ruined the fight and was now talking about victory. When Yan asked if he had messed up, he explained that he stopped because his opponent could not move and would have been seriously injured. But his father scolded him, stating that what he was doing was not martial art, but a street fight. Yan asked why that was bad, arguing that he trains and achieves enlightenment, and that this is martial art, which gave his father a headache. Hookdo thought the boy was right about something. It was amazing that Yan could control his internal energy so well at such a young age. But as a martial artist, he could not consider their activity a real fight. He told Yeon that his fighting was no different from the martial arts of the demonic sect, explaining that martial arts are not just about becoming strong but also about being noble and improving one's mind and body. In response, Yeon asked Hookdo what the difference was between the Invincible Demon, a master of traditional martial arts whose fame spread decades ago, and the king of eccentricity and nobility, who came from a demonic sect but fought nobly and honestly, which confused Hookdo and made him ask Yeon to repeat himself. Yeon elaborated that 80 years ago, the experienced and respected martial artist Invincible Demon, Bang Seong, was a member of an ordinary martial arts group but later discovered an abyss of evil within himself, learned forbidden and evil ways of fighting, and used them to kill many people. These forbidden paths were in a secret book that discussed controlling bad desires to become a better person. But Bang Seong misunderstood it, which made his evil desires worse and turned him into the greatest villain of his age. In contrast, the king of eccentricities and nobility, Pyok Yunmi, always enjoyed people's love as the leader of a street group who wanted to become super strong in martial arts and rank among the top 100 martial artists, with strict laws reigning in his group. Yeon then asked Hookdo if learning the rules of martial arts makes one normal, and Hookdo believed Yeon's words made sense, wondering if he had been unfair in his thoughts all along, as he had believed that those who follow strange paths seek only power, while those on the right path aim for self-improvement and honor. But now he was not so sure. Yeon was puzzled by how seriously Hookdo was taking this, assuming everyone has their own likes and dislikes, when suddenly Hookdo received enlightenment, surrounded by a blue glow, and though someone congratulated him, saying it was great for their martial arts group, Hookdo downplayed it as not a big deal, stating he had just realized he still had to study and study if the boy could do it in a dispute. Yeon found it corny, like in teen mangas, and wondered how Hookdo achieved enlightenment because of what he said, then asked Hookdo if he had won their sparring anyway. Hookdo hesitated but agreed, so Yeon excitedly told his father he had won the bet, which upset Father Yeon, who firmly believed in keeping promises. Hookdo thanked Yeon for helping him gain enlightenment, and then asked if Yeon was ready to fight him. And though Yeon was annoyed and asked if it was necessary, his father scolded him, saying it was a rare opportunity to see the incredible martial arts of the Manhwa sect up close. Hookdo added that if he was satisfied with their fight, he would reward Yeon, explaining that since Yeon seemed to have only learned one specific technique, he would help him learn any other technique he wanted if he was happy with the fight. Yeon was excited and asked if Hookdo would really help him learn any technique, which Hookdo confirmed, though it depended on how the fight went. Yeon then asked what would happen if he defeated Hookdo, who deep down thought it was very self-confident for a child not yet 10 years old but still agreed, adding that if Yeon defeated him, he would be indebted to him. Yeon realized this was a great opportunity to learn a new technique and have a powerful elder from the Hua Mountain sect owe him, though he noticed Yun Wei and felt a little sorry for her. When Hookdo prepared to fight and asked if Yeon was ready, Yeon took an unusual pose and confirmed, beginning a battle where both fighters appeared unusually still, making the atmosphere quite serious unlike the previous match. Yeon admitted Hookdo was a formidable martial artist as he sensed his inner strength and saw his aura, deciding he must get into close combat and contemplating whether to feign an attack and retreat, but concluded such a half-hearted maneuver would not work, and that he needed to cross the boundaries of the enemy's aura. Understanding that weaker fighters often win by taking some damage to land a more powerful blow, Hookdo was surprised, thinking Yeon could really see the boundaries of his aura, so he decided to scare him a little by increasing the aura, shocking Yeon, who said it was impossible for the aura to be increasing. Hookdo told Yeon that if he was just going to stand around and be afraid, he should give up and become a kid again, even trying to hit Yeon with the weapon. But Yeon continued to dodge with footwork Hookdo found quite interesting as he moved unpredictably and anticipated Hookdo's attacks. Yan realized Hookdo wasn't taking it easy on him because he was young, as he used both real and fake moves with a lot of aggression. So Yan believed if he kept moving like that, he might find an opportunity to attack, getting down and saying, "This is it!" as he tried to hit Hookdo, but a sword blocked his blow, leaving him hanging on it in a lot of pain without making a sound. Hookdo admitted that if Yan continued to improve, he would become incredibly skilled, feeling the need to teach him a lesson of failure to help him grow. But then suddenly, Yan grabs Hookdo's hand, saying that it's his turn and he wants to answer with dignity, using wrestling techniques. Hookdo realizes that Yan is willing to sacrifice a little to deliver a powerful blow, a strange technique that Yan's father also notices. Yan uses a jujitsu technique called the elbow punch, realizing he has caught Hookdo. No matter how experienced Hookdo is, once trapped in this submission hold, it is difficult to escape. However, Hookdo pushes Yan hard with his hand, making Yan wonder how strong Hookdo's inner strength is, before Hookdo picks him up and throws him to the ground with force. "Help! The child is being killed!" is the last thing Yan thinks before he passes out. He later wakes up in his bed, his body bandaged and in pain, realizing he has lost the fight. Although disappointing, Yan believes the experience brought him benefit, as everyone has moments of victory and defeat, and one shouldn't give up even when upset about losing. Someone outside then announces that Yan is finally awake, and they enter. It is Hookdo. Hookdo asks Yan how he felt, and when Yan tosses the question back, Hookdo says, "Losing for the first time in your life is pretty bittersweet, right?" Yan replies that this is not his first loss, surprising Hookdo, who didn't expect to find someone so experienced. Hookdo tells Yan that if he intends to follow his own martial path, he has options, and asks if he trains to become stronger or just for the excitement of battle. Yan replies that he just wants to enjoy the fight and believes it is more effective to improve existing martial arts than to learn completely new ones. Hookdo then asks why he avoids studying those existing arts, noting they have their own strengths, and questions if Yan is willing to give up those benefits. Yan realizes Hookdo is right, and that he was stubborn to ignore this world's well-developed martial arts in favor of his previous life's modern techniques. Understanding that criticizing Elderkey Hookdo before the fight was a contradiction, Hookdo finds Yeon truly charming as he gains enlightenment, and is excited to see how much stronger he will become when they next meet, wishing him all the best before leaving after Yeon stands to thank him, and accept an invitation to visit Mount Hua next time. 10 years later, the youngest master of the Golden Tiger Wall has grown into a respected teenager. Yeon goes outside, realizing it is incredibly bright, perhaps because he has not been in the sunlight for so long after his isolated training, which lasted longer than expected, but during which he managed to reach the highest peak level. After the fight with the schoolmasters, Yeon broke free from his father's control and continued practicing modern martial arts while working on his internal energy. Now, having finished a whole year of isolated training and returned home, he goes to his father, who is drinking tea, and announces his return. His father confirms it and then unexpectedly tells him to get out of the estate, wondering how long Yeon plans to train without doing anything else, and believing that now that he is older and stronger, he should explore the world and travel, with the deep-down hope that his son will get married. Yeon explains he wants to continue training to become stronger for unforeseen circumstances, fearing encounters with groups of martial artists while traveling. His father hits him on the head in frustration, asks if he's joking, and wonders why martial artists would travel in groups, stating that at Yeon's peak level, he will be respected anywhere. He then tells Yeon to visit his sister from the Nangong clan, and introduce himself to her relatives as a first step, noting that the Sword Emperor Nangong Jojian resides there and might accept a duel request. Yeon agrees, and his father orders him to leave the next day, which surprises Yeon. The next morning, Yeon informs his family and everyone at the Golden Tiger Wall that they won't see him for a while, though he will send updates. Everyone advises him not to forget to eat, to use a carrier pigeon if necessary, and to take care of himself. Traveling around Jianghu is something Yeon never tried in his previous life, and he knows there are many strong people in Murom who should wait for him, believing he will soon become the strongest man in Murom.